G'day, it's Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of his fight at Hex 32, I'm talking to the featherweight champion. I'm talking to Mr. George Mangos. George, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well. I'm very well. How are you, Joel?
I'm well. I'm well. It's been a good Monday for me thus far. How has your Monday been treating you?
Yeah, it's great. Great so far. Fight week, first day of the week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. The count is on.
Talking about that, as you said, it is fight week. In a strange way, because you build up and then you chill fight week. Is
Yeah,
this the easiest day in a little bit?
yeah, it actually is to be honest. And not everything's gone like camp as usual. It's been pretty hard. So yeah, like you said, you let off the pedal, let off the gas a bit. Fight week. So yeah, I had my last hard session yesterday on Sunday. Did my spider. And yeah, now it's just cruising, keep staying fit and getting the weight down, and then yeah, staying healthy for Saturday.
As I like to refer to it, you're keeping the engine warm.
Yeah.
What was today? Were you training today?
Now today I went and got a new mouth guard. I'll just saying to you off camera, I haven't fought with a proper mouth guard all my fights. They've all been cheap $10 ones from the chemist. So yeah, it's this fight I'm gonna have a proper one for the first time. About time. I think it's been a long time coming.
Who let you do that?
No one actually. My coach has been telling me to get a mouth guard for so long. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just something I've been putting off.
So how did you end up getting one? Has a company reached out or something?
Yeah, what I got through Ethos guys that I'm gonna do strength and conditioning with. They hooked me up with the guys at Champ Mouth Guard. Yeah, they're gonna get me sort me out mouth guard by Wednesday, I think. So yeah, thanks to them for doing that in a quick turnaround.
I feel obviously like I don't know for you, but I feel like the difference is going to be incredible. You're going
I
to be
hope
able
so.
to you're going to be able to breathe while you're fighting.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. If it makes as much as a difference, like now, hopefully it'll be a good performance compared to if I can perform how I have been with $10 mouth guards, then yeah, hopefully with a proper one I'll have a better performance.
Uh, I like the people getting the custom mouth guard. It allows people to have a little bit more customization. Did you do any cool designs on the mouth guard?
No, to be honest, I just wanted just a blank white one, but we went and we put Mangos on the side in like a nice, like cool font. So that's about it. I just like to keep it simple. I usually just like a nice white one.
Oh, there you go. So you
Yeah,
won't forget which one's yours when you put it down.
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, half the time my fights I peg it out of the cage anyways after I win. So it's, yeah, yeah. So it's been easy to replace for $10.
I was like, someone in the crowd will be going home with the George Mangos mouth guard.
Yeah, that's it. Keep it.
Yeah, actually, a little memento. As I mentioned at the top of the interview, and on top of that, the first time you and I spoke together in an interview, was you as champion for Hex.
Yeah,
How ha how has life been since
yeah.
becoming champ?
It's been great. I mean, I didn't sit there and I mean, obviously, I enjoyed it and I like to sort of not rush things and stop and smell the roses, but I don't like to sit there for too long. I only had like not much off training, and then we already knew Jarrett was next. I think it was only 12 weeks from the last fight to this one, so yeah, had a little bit of time to recover, but went straight back into camp. Really, it's nice to be the champ, but I think defending your belt just solidifies yourself as a champion. That's what I'm looking to do on Saturday. So yeah, we got straight back to work. Uh, but it's you can say it's straight back to work, but every day I'm doing what I love, so it doesn't feel like work to me. I'm enjoying every moment. I love the training. I love the build up, the nerves, the pressure. It's yeah, that's what I live for.
You talked about that there. It solidifies you as a champ to defend the belt.
Mhm.
Um, how is it now to be the hunted, and has it changed your mentality at all?
Not necessarily. My mentality's always been the same. I mean, I want to go out there against the best guys in Australia, put on good performances and put them away. So that remains the same. But yeah, it's good to be the hunted, I guess, because I feel like if I was in this spot at 3-4-0, it would be hard to get fights. Obviously, like people would know I'm a dangerous fighter, and with not that many fights under my belt. But so I feel like with the belt, it gives people another reason to fight me. So I think it would help in that department. I'm not sure how easy I'd be getting fights if I wasn't a champion.
You talked about you already knew this was the opponent. Is there any benefit for that? Because as you said, it can be difficult to find fights, especially when you're coming up and you're very good. Knowing for so far out that you've got a date and an opponent, how has that been for you?
It's refreshing to be honest because yeah, earlier this year, I was supposed to fight Dan Jones, and then on a week's notice, I got turned around to Dimps, which is a different style of fighter, and then 3 weeks later, it was Justin. So for those fights, I was preparing for three different people. So first time in a while, I've had a whole camp, dedicated to one person, and I'm sure we'll see the results of that on Saturday.
Just one more thing about being the champ before we kind of break down the fight.
Yeah.
Uh, the post-fight interview you and I did after you won the belt, uh, for me, there was something really cool about it where, and it comes through a little bit on the camera, where it's me, it's you, and it's all of your corner sitting on the floor next to my camera watching you give the interview. Being not just very good, but also with the belt. Do you feel any maybe form of like leadership in the gym?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the first pro belt we've had at Lionsden for a while. We've brought through other champions. Not only like my coach Luke himself was XFC champion. We had guys like he was coaching Hector Lombard while he was here in Australia, and things like that. But yeah, as of this like generation that's come through Lionsden, I'm the first guy to win a professional belt. So yeah, I definitely think I've sort of put the team on my back and get the foot in the door on the professional scene. Yeah, it is sort of a leadership role, especially now with the guys that we got fighting the next day on Road to Hex. We got four other boys, and then two boys the week after on another show in Sydney. So yeah, in the span of 2 weeks, we got 8 fighters on. And yeah, me and Marwan, even there, we're starting off the momentum for those boys on Saturday. Um, but yeah, I think definitely with what I've done so far at such a young age, it sort of gives the boys a blueprint and sort of maybe someone else to follow that and show that it has been done out of our gym, and it gives them a bit of motivation and like yeah, that it shows them that it can be done.
You mentioned it just there as well, like at such a young age, to be early on in the career and a young guy. How is that? How do you kind of deal with kind of being a bit of in a bit of a leadership role?
Yeah, no, I think I do pretty well. I think that's always because I have like always been doing it. It's just second nature to me. So, yeah, I've always been like the youngest guy in the room, and I've always been exceeding expectations for my age. So, by this point, I'm used to it. I mean, obviously the stakes and the rewards get higher as I progress through my career, but yeah, I think I adapt to those situations pretty well, and as they get higher and higher and bigger, I'm going to continue to do that when I reach the UFC and things like that.
Does stuff like that ever add any pressure?
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's like I was saying before. That's what I live for. The pressure is, fighting's not easy. I mean, I don't fight because it's easy. I mean, I like to go through all the hardship and the pressure and doubt and all these things that go on in your mind, and as the fights I say get bigger and the stakes are higher, yeah, I like to be in those moments and even then stop and smell the roses and really soak it all in how things are feeling as how I'm feeling as the fights are getting closer and they're getting bigger, and yeah, it's another thing I look forward to other than getting the win. I look forward to to where I'm at now in fight week and cutting the weight and the press conference and things like that. I enjoy all of it.
Talking about the opponent, you're fighting Jarrett Wilbraham. You mentioned it earlier. You won the belt, defeating his teammate Justin Van Heerden. Uh, Prior to that, you were not in an exact situation, but you were in a position where you could have fought their other teammate Seb Saleh. You are now fighting Jarrett. Is there any form of rivalry between you and freestyle MMA?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not real like bad blood, but yeah, I took out Justin. Even Seb took out my teammate Joe. So yeah, now and like you said, I was maybe scheduled to fight Seb. I think it would have gone that way. Yeah, so I guess yeah, there's a bit of healthy competition there. Now I'm up against Jarrett. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how we go. I think it's going to go well, and we'll see how long the rivalry continues.
To see who the next featherweight out of there is.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, what are your thoughts on Jarrett? Of course, as we've kind of touched on, you've had a while to prep for him. You knew he was the next man in line. What are your thoughts on Jarrett Wilbraham as a fighter?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's tough. I don't know how many he's had, but he's had a lot of fight of the nights and performance of the nights. He's exciting. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to being in there with him. Someone with once again more experience in cage time than me. Yeah, it's someone I'm looking forward to testing my skills against. And I'm not sure. I've heard that he was maybe even close to getting selected for the Ultimate Fighter. So he's obviously has been on the watch for the UFC, like as was Justin. So yeah, that's another bonus to fighting him. I want to fight these guys that are on the brink or getting the UFC have their eyes on, which just makes the win better for me. So I'm looking forward to that also.
He is, he's got that renowned being the wild man. I think it came out in the last round of his fight against Sam. He got a little bit wild in there.
Mm.
A guy like that, is that any harder to prep for because he's got a bit of a crazy style?
Yeah, I mean it's another thing you have to take into account. But I'm definitely going to be well prepared for that. I personally think he's going to come out not as wild this fight. I think he's going to be a bit composed because we've got 5 rounds. We saw in that last fight a little bit in that third round he gassed. So he can't be too wild when there's 5 rounds. So yeah, we'll see if he does. But if he does, I'll be ready. Yeah, like what we're saying with the 12 weeks to prepare for him. Yeah, I'm definitely ready for that.
He fought the same night as you did, and he defeated Semakade Kakembo. We were kind of talking on it then. At the time, of course, you're getting ready for your fight. You're locking in. You may not have the time to watch the fight on the night. But have you watched that fight? And if you did, what did you think of that fight?
Yeah, I watched it once after the week after. I can't remember too much to be honest, but it was a close fight. Either way, it could have gone to Sam's way, and yeah, like people would have been upset either way. But yeah, it was a good fight. Jarrett done well to, sort of win those earlier rounds while Sam started close, slow, sorry, and then yeah, like I said, he just was a bit wild and gassed himself a bit in the third round. So I think that's something he's going to improve on fighting me, and he'll be more ready to go over 5 rounds.
If, for you, was there a preference in like Jarrett or Sam?
No, not at all. Yeah, I couldn't care less who they're for. They're pretty much the same, like as well, like record wise and stuff. So it didn't really matter, like if it was one or the other. It wasn't like one guy was like significantly more, like higher ranked or anything like that.
I asked you this after the victory over Justin, because before the fight we were talking about, he was a very highly ranked guy. Not that tapology is gospel, but he was a highly ranked guy. And you felt a victory over him, you take his spot, you become the number one guy. And you talked about, Jarrett was a guy who was on the tough radar. I'm trying to think of a way to word it, but like that must be, what is that like? Because you're looking for guys who are above you while also like feeling that you're the number one guy.
Yeah,
So like, what's like the balance like of like who's better than me, but I don't think they're better than me.
yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, like obviously everyone's gonna think they're the best. I still think that after taking out Justin, and yeah, at this point it's just who else is sort of up there with me. Like for for this one, like I was saying, Jarrett, it's good because he was like under the watch of the UFC, so that's great. Yeah, anyone that's in that top 10 is dangerous. So any one of those guys, I'm happy to fight.
And we were talking about it earlier in the interview about, the next kind of generation coming through. You've got, you're the second man from the gym to be fighting on the night, but the next night you've got a bunch of guys on the Amis. What do you kind of make of this next kind of generation of talent? We're seeing guys like yourself, that are coming up and winning titles early on in the career.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting times in the future. Like we're sort of seeing it. Well, we are seeing it now. There's some guys like that in the UFC who have been training their whole lives. since the sport has been around for a bit longer now. It's only going to bring many more exciting memories and moments in the sport. And we're just starting off here in the regional scene, but yeah, we're slowly going to make our way to the UFC and deliver the same thing there.
We talked about him a little bit earlier, but Seb Saleh is the featherweight champion over in Eternal, a tournament you were originally in. He fought Dims Gillies. Did you watch that fight? And if you did, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was Seb fought well. He overcame some adversity in the first round. He got dropped by Dims. Um, but yeah, he stuck to his game plan. He didn't get caught up in the brawl and done well to fight him on the outside. So yeah, he did what he had to do. He fought a smart fight. And yeah, I mean that's not much more to say other than that.
I know all your focus is on Jarrett at the moment, but do you ever see a matchup with Seb being in the future?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it makes sense. We've got two top guys in two top promotions, so yeah, it's definitely something that could happen. It's just about more where it would happen is the problem. Yeah, maybe on neutral ground on Super Fight in Sydney on my first show.
Perfect. There we go. Easy. Done. Book it.
That's it.
Just that easy.
Yeah.
Through the socials, I've noticed I've always felt there's a good core group of guys at Lions Den. Um, However, but recently I've noticed there's been some people kind of jumping in from out of town. Quillen and Salkild stopped in town. Jack Lyons was in town as well. How was it? Did you get a chance to work with them, and how was it mixing up with those guys?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, if guys are in Sydney, I mean, we're the top team to reach out to come get some training with. Yeah, I wasn't there unfortunately when Jack was in. I was busy that day, but for Quillen, I was there. Yeah, it's good to mix things up with different guys. It would have been good to be there with Jack. He's fighting on the same night as me, but um, yeah, it's great. I mean, the more bodies, the better. So especially someone like Quillen, who's on that level, he's on the contender series. Yeah, guys like that, especially, it's good to get them coming through and getting some knowledge from them also.
Maybe you'll just have to say what's up to Jack out the back. Hey man.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about like mixing it up with Quillen and getting a chance to work with him. How is that for you? Because as you said, he's on that level. He's, fighting for a contract. How was it to train with him?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, well, we weren't going ballistic. Yeah, because he's fighting, or he was on in his fight week, so he was at the same spot where I'm at today, just keeping the engine warm, as you said. So yeah, but it was good, just to have guys like that at the gym, like I was saying before. And obviously, you've seen what his teammate Cody did, put on an outstanding performance on his contender series shot. So yeah, I'm sure Quillen's going to do the same, and I'm excited to see that.
If I can ask, what room of the house are we in? Where are we at the moment?
I'm in my study.
So we're in the study. Where do you keep the belt?
In my room. I got in my room in front of my bed, like where my drawers are. I've got all four of my belts. I got my three amateur belts and then the hex belt also.
Are you going to run out of space?
Yeah, I've already planned. I'm gonna like when I come home, I don't know, sort it out. It's gonna be a mess there. This next belt, I'm not gonna have anywhere to put it.
Gonna have to buy like a shelf or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna need like a designated spot for it.
And we were talking before we started, we were talking about family and such. You got a lot of families over in Greece at the moment. You're a proud Greek man. What does it mean for you to be able to rep Greece?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously that's where I'm from, my heritage. I'm proud of that. So, yeah, I'm gonna try, put the country on my back as best as I can, along with Australia, of course, because that's where I was born and raised. But yeah, and I mean, and the support from all the Greeks is awesome. Like not only my friends and family, like random people that I don't even know that they just say I'm a fighter, and then they find out I'm Greek, and they instantly a supporter. So, that's always good to have as well. Even when I fought Justin in the last Hex show, there was a lot of guys there that I didn't even know that would like speak to me after the fight and saying they were cheering for me just because I'm Greek and stuff like that. So yeah, we always get behind each other like that, and yeah, it's always good.
I was going to ask about that because if I'm not mistaken, I think George Cambosis said it that outside of Greece, Melbourne has the most Greek people. It's Athens, and then it's Melbourne.
Yeah.
So even though it's for you, it's a fight outside of home, probably doesn't actually feel like you're that far from home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there'll be a few Greeks there just cheering me on just because we're from the same place. I'm pretty and there's a few other Greeks. I know there's that guy Artemis as well who's making his pro debut from Matt Masters, so I'm sure he'll bring a few Greeks down.
Hell yeah, represent.
Yeah.
Um, talking about that, have you ever been to Greece? Do you ever get a chance to go there?
I went when I was young. I think last time I went was 2014, so it was like 11 something like that. So yeah, I definitely need to go now that I'm older. And enjoy because yeah, when I went last time, well, we went on holidays as well, but a lot where I'm from, it's not from like the island and stuff. We're from the mainland in the mountains, so I was in a village a lot of the time. I mean, that was cool too, but I want to go enjoy like the beach and stuff also.
See the other parts of the country. Maybe bring the belt.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And then eventually the UFC belt.
Yeah, well, maybe. Do you have any family that like permanently lives in Greece?
Yeah, I've got some. Yeah, not as I have only met when I was young, but yeah, I do have family there for sure.
Well, maybe you could be like, I've run out of space for the belt at home, and thus the
Yeah,
belt will stay in Greece.
that's the storage.
You mentioned it earlier about coming down to Melbourne for the press conference and everything that the week entails. It is the start of fight week for you. What does the rest of the week look like for you?
And yeah, now just keeping busy. Yeah, just getting the weight down. Not nothing too intense wise for training. Yeah, just like you said, keeping the engine warm. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, we've timed our training to peak now on fight week, and yeah, that's exactly where I'm at now. I'm at my peak for this camp. I'm feeling great, and yeah, just got to keep it at that level for a couple more days until Saturday, and then it's showtime
When do you come down?
on Thursday on the day of the press conference.
All right, mad dash from the airport to the press conference.
Yeah, no, I think the flight's a bit earlier. I think it's at like 7 or something, so we got a bit of time to kill.
All right, mad. Well, then you get to hang out in Melbourne a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Perfect.
not the best place to hang out. It's a bit cold for my liking.
Oh, dude, today was really bad.
Yeah, like,
Bring
even yeah, it's windy, but the past week it's been pretty hot. It's a good start to spring.
All right. Well, you definitely bring your jacket to Melbourne, dude.
Yeah, right. Great.
George, I thank you so much for the time. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. Best of luck in the fight. Safe travels down. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. I appreciate having me on, and yeah, I'll see you soon.